Hey guys, so this is going to be a little bit different type of video than I normally do, being kind of an outdoor channel. Going to start introducing a little bit of gun stuff here and there. So I've never owned any sort of rifle. So I wanted to get an AR-15, but looking around I just couldn't find one that I just like everything about. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to make one. So after doing research for about 2.5 months, figuring out everything I want, what kind of gas system, DI, or all these different things, barrel twist rate, all these different factors that make a rifle, I researched for about 2.5 months and started to build it. So here is a look of my rifle right now. 16-inch barrel, collapsible buttstock, so just kind of your average size AR-15. So first of all, why I built this. This is my battle rifle, I guess as they're known as, or go to war rifle. So with that in mind, I still wanted to remain lightweight, so I'm not going with like a sniper rifle or anything like that, no scope. I will get an optic. This is zeroed in at a 50-yard zero, which is also a 200-yard zero. So this is a 200 meters and in gun. Not to say it couldn't reach out further if I had a scope and things of that nature. Not sure, haven't tried it yet. But that's 200 meters and in is what I thought would be the most practical, because I mean, even 200 meters, it's not like you're going to justify defending yourself from 200 meters away. So 200 meters and in, CQB battle rifle. I'm calling this my Juggernaut build. Look up the definition for Juggernaut. It's something along the lines like a huge and overwhelming power. And when I saw this thing, when it was done, I'm just like, that's awesome. And Juggernaut just came to me, and therefore the Juggernaut was born. So, theories and reasons behind why I went with the stuff I went with, the parts I used. So there's a couple things I had to keep in mind while building this that the rifle had to have. And it didn't necessarily have to have the best of one thing. It just had to be well-rounded at all the different categories. Those categories being, in order from importance, is, first of all, it's got to be reliable. That's self-explanatory. I need it to shoot when I pull the trigger. Second to that is it needs to be versatile, so you're able to manipulate it, hold it, up here instead of just you're stuck down here, just being able to handle it different ways, adjustable buttstock, things like that. And thirdly, it had to be aesthetically pleasing to me, and that's why it's bottom on the list, because that doesn't necessarily help the performance of the gun. But if I'm going to spend all the money and time into this, I wanted it to be something that I thought looked awesome, and this does, in my opinion. So those are the things it had to have. So back to the reliability. This could be quite a bit lighter than it is, just because I could switch out the BCG, the pistol grip, the rail, things like that. Even the receivers I could swap out for lighter ones. But these are proven, they're mil-spec standards. They've just been proven over time to be really reliable and just kind of hold their own. So I wanted to start off with these. I might try some of the polymer or carbon fiber, things like that, later on down the road, but I wanted to get something I knew would work and last first. So that's why I went with your standard mil-spec upper and lower. The rail, I kind of splurged on, partly because aesthetics, I thought it looked great, but also like the Magpul ones where you're just kind of limited to holding it here. I don't like that, and I'd rather be able to, because this is comfortable for me, but on the event I need to be really stable or something, I can really just reach out really far on this. This is a 16-inch barrel with a 17-inch rail, in case anyone was wondering the sizes of the rail comparison. So, good shape weight, but I had to take in the fact of just reliability, aesthetics, plus functionality. So, this is what I came up with. So, all the parts of this are, I guess I'll just start over here. The flash hider is a Strikes Industries Venom flash hider. It's pretty mean looking. It's sharp. I mean, worst case scenario, if you hit someone with the flash hider, it'll probably stop them, in all honesty. Inside the rail, we got the pencil barrel. It's the Faxon Firearms 1-in-8 twist 5.56 NATO chambered Faxon Firearms pencil barrel. The Faxon Firearm gas block, low profile gas block, and Faxon Firearm gas tube. Nothing real special about those, but they're there. The rail is a JL billet angled rail. It's aluminum, pretty good size. It's not too fat, not too skinny. It just works, looks great. It's M-lock, and there's a lot of, it's a really open rail, so I mean, it'll help the barrel cool down somewhat faster. How much faster, I don't know, but I mean, that's just common sense. Heat will escape. So, moving on to the upper receiver. It's an Aero Precision upper receiver, forged, and the bottom is a Spikes Tactical forged lower receiver. All mil-spec stuff again. Inside the lower receiver are mil-spec parts, just lower parts kit, nothing special. I am going to switch out the mil-spec trigger for a CMC, probably a 4.5 pound trigger at some point. Not top on my list, but that will get done at some point. I swapped out the mil-spec handle because I hated that, or the pistol grip, and got the ATI Scorpion X2 pistol grip, and this thing is a million times better, and my hand is just big enough to reach up here and get that magazine. I thought I still might add a extended mag release. I'm not sure, that will be for later on. The sights are the Magpul M-Bus Gen 2 sights. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with these, and most of you are probably using these same sights. Cheap, they work, they seem pretty sturdy. Right here, we've got the AXTS Raptor charging handle. It's a really beefy charging handle, but looks good, and it just, the reliability is there, tons of reviews, so I didn't want, of all the parts that could go wrong, I feel like this one could. It just feels like it takes a lot of abuse, so I wanted a beefy one. BCG is your AIM surplus standard bolt carrier group. It's the nickel boron coated as well. Affordable, only $120, so really cheap compared to the competition. Moving back here, we have, again, Strike Industries, the Viper buttstock. And this is really comparable to the Mission First Tactical Minimalist buttstock. Just this one looks better. That's small, lower profile, so, and still adjustable, all that stuff, QD mounts. So I decided to go ahead and go with this one because it was just more aesthetically pleasing to me, and it works fine. It rolls up really nice on the shoulder. The buffer, the castle, the latch plate, nothing special. Palmetto State Armory, just standard mil-spec parts. I didn't get a QD mount there because it will interfere with the pistol grip. And like I said, all that's just mil-spec stuff. Inside the buffer tube, I'm running a Damage Industries a chrome silicon buffer spring, and also a Damage Industries buffer, standard weight 3-ounce buffer. I went with chrome silicon because buffer spring because it'll outlast every other part on this gun, and it's just barely more expensive than your mil spec buffer tube, so may as well. There's no reason not to. There's no disadvantage to the chrome silicon as opposed to just your mil spec steel buffer spring. The safety selector and mag release and all that stuff, bolt catch, all that stuff's standard mil spec. I might add like a different safety selector or something at some point, but I mean that's just going to be aesthetics. It's not going to do anything for the gun really, so that'll be later on down the road. And that is all the parts I have in this right now. Again, swapping out the trigger. I'll put a Hollow Sun red dot on here. So it's $1,400 rifle right now as you're looking at it, with everything in here. But when I add the optic plus the trigger, it'll be about an $1,800 build. In case anyone's wondering, I had the rail, the upper, the lower, Cerakoted by someone locally. This is the tungsten gray, and I think it looks phenomenal. So matches the tungsten gray Raptor charging handle. If anyone has that, it's the exact same color. And so with all this stuff being exactly how I wanted, being a lightweight, not the lightest, but still lighter than I guess your average AR, all this right here, including the magazine, unloaded, is right at 6 pounds. So, you know, you load up the 30 rounds, then you're going to add about 1 pound, so you're at 7 pounds. Add the optic. I'm going to add a flashlight mount and mount a flashlight on there. So my goal is to keep it fully loaded, fully dressed, 7.5 pounds or under. That's what I'm going for. I think that's a pretty good compromise between being a lightweight, remaining reliable, and still looking unique compared to most ARs. So that is my build. I will keep you guys posted on it. I shot it for the first time yesterday, the first 100 rounds, and I was shooting tool ammo and silver bear, both steel cased bullets or cases, and did not have one failure whatsoever. It was ejecting, it was feeding, the bullet was locking back on an empty mag every time. Did not have any problems at all. First 100, perfect. I will continue to keep you guys updated. I'll try and get some range video whenever I'm able to. I might roll in just a couple shots or something. I didn't do a whole lot of recording because I was mostly just trying to sight in the irons and things like that. But anyway, here it is, the Juggernaut build. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, comment, like, whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.